Rejection. Let's sit with it for a moment. It's a punch to the gut, a moment that makes your heart drop and your mind spiral into questions you don't want to face. You liked her. You saw a future. You imagined moments together. And you took the risk to put yourself out there, to show her your interest, to take a step most guys are too scared to take. And then it happens. She says no. She says she's not interested. She says she doesn't feel the same, and suddenly everything feels heavy. Your chest tightens, your stomach flips, and the thoughts start flooding in. What did I do wrong? Was I not enough? Am I not attractive, smart, funny enough? You wonder if you're just another forgettable guy, just another name she will laugh about with her friends, while you're left picking up the pieces of your pride and confidence. But here's the truth that most guys never realize. Rejection is not a mirror of your worth. It doesn't define who you are or what you're capable of becoming. It doesn't determine your value as a man, as a person, or as a human being who is worthy of respect, love, and greatness. Rejection is a moment, and moments pass. It's a chapter, not the entire book. It's a comma in your story, not the final sentence. And here's where your mindset needs to shift. Rejection is an opportunity. It's a brutal, honest wake-up call that forces you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, who am I really? What can I improve? What life do I want to build so that nothing and no one can shake me like this again? It's not about making her regret rejecting you so you can feel better for a moment. It's about becoming a man so solid, so grounded, and so driven that her rejection becomes irrelevant in your journey, a small turning point that pushed you to level up. Rejection can be the spark that ignites your hunger to transform into your best self, to focus on your path, and to build a life that commands respect, not just from others, but from yourself. Because in the end, the goal isn't to get her back or to prove your worth to her. It's to prove it to yourself, so you walk through life knowing no rejection can define you, only refine you. Asterisk, when you get rejected, your reaction in that exact moment can shape everything that follows. Most guys don't realize how much power they give away by reacting emotionally. They panic, send desperate texts, ask for another chance, or let their entire mood and confidence crumble in front of her and everyone else watching. They act like she just took something away from them. Like her, stripped them of their worth. And they rush to get that validation back by trying to convince her she made the wrong choice. This is exactly where they lose all their power. Because when you react like that, you confirm to her that she made the right decision, that you aren't the solid, composed man she needs, but just another guy who can't handle a simple rejection without falling apart. You lose respect in her eyes, and you lose respect for yourself. You have to understand that rejection is a test, and how you handle it reveals everything about your character, your discipline, and your self-worth. If you can take her no, and respond with calmness, a simple, all right, no worries, and move on without letting it affect your energy, you flip the entire dynamic. Instead of proving her right, You plant a seed of doubt in her mind. Why is he so unbothered? Did I misjudge him? Is there something I'm missing? That curiosity is powerful, and it only grows when you maintain your composure. Imagine someone trying to get under your skin, expecting you to react, and instead you just smile and keep walking. It's strength, it's discipline, and it's rare. You're showing her that her rejection doesn't define your worth or your direction. It shows you have control over yourself, and in a world where most people are slaves to their emotions, that control makes you stand out. The way you handle rejection is training for life. It teaches you to stay grounded when things don't go your way, to keep your energy stable, and to value your dignity above temporary validation. Because you don't lose when you get rejected. You lose when you let that rejection control your actions and your mindset. When you master your reaction, you gain a level of power that can't be taken away, no matter how many times someone says no to you. You prove to yourself that your peace and your confidence are yours, not dependent on someone else's approval, and that makes you unstoppable. Asterisk, most guys get stuck in the same loop after rejection, replaying the moment over and over in their heads, analyzing every word she said, every look she gave, every small detail, hoping to find some hidden sign that maybe she actually liked them or that they could fix something to change her mind. They waste days, weeks, even months obsessing over what went wrong, stalking her social media, trying to stay connected in hopes that she will see their worth and come back. They drain themselves emotionally, living in a fantasy that if they just say or do the right thing, they can reverse the rejection and finally get the validation they crave. But here's the truth. Focusing on her after rejection is the fastest way to lose yourself. You can't control her thoughts, her feelings, or her choices. The more energy you pour into trying to change her mind, the more you shrink your own value in your life. This is the moment you need to shift the focus completely onto yourself. Ask yourself where you have been slacking in your own life. Is it your health? Have you been avoiding the gym, eating trash, and neglecting your body? Is it your career or finances? Have you been settling for less, playing it safe, avoiding the discomfort of growth? Is it your social life? Have you isolated yourself, depending on her or the idea of her for your happiness? Now is the time to wake up and double down on the areas of your life you've been avoiding. Rejection is an alarm clock, a reminder that you have work to do on yourself, not for her, but for you. When you start focusing on building yourself, you don't just distract yourself from the rejection. You transform into the kind of man who commands respect without having to demand it. Think of any man you respect. Any man who walks into a room and doesn't need to say a word to be noticed. That presence comes from focus, discipline, and self-improvement. It's built through the quiet hours in the gym, the long nights grinding for your goals, the uncomfortable moments where you choose growth over temporary pleasure. When you become that man, rejection won't faze you because you will see it for what it truly is, a filter, not a failure. You won't need her or anyone else to validate your worth because you will be living proof of it every day in your body, your mind, your work, and your purpose. That is how you turn rejection into your greatest fuel, by using it as the spark that forces you to take control of your own life. Asterisk. After rejection, most guys make the mistake of sticking around, hoping that if they stay close, keep talking to her, liking her stories, dropping comments, or just being friends, she eventually change her mind. They think that by staying in her orbit, she'll notice their kindness, their availability, and realize she made a mistake. But in reality, all you're doing is making yourself easy to ignore. You're removing any sense of mystery, any curiosity, and any reason for her to ever reconsider her decision, because you're always there, always accessible, always reminding her that she can have your attention without giving anything in return. You become background noise, easily tuned out, and she moves on while you stay stuck, waiting for her to validate you. The smartest thing you can do after rejection is to disappear completely. Go silent. No texts, no calls, no random reactions to her stories, no tagging her in memes, no late night "hope you're doing okay" messages. You cut off your attention, your presence, and your energy completely, because absence is powerful. It creates space. It forces her to notice the silence where you used to be. It makes her wonder why you're not chasing her like everyone else, why you're not seeking her validation, why you're not around waiting for her to throw you breadcrumbs. It shifts the power back to you without you having to say a single word. While you're gone from her world, you're out there building yours. You're at the gym, pushing yourself harder. You're locked in on your goals, working on your money, your skills, and your mindset. You're out with your boys, building your social skills, expanding your network, and living your life fully without her in it. You're too busy leveling up to care about whether she notices, and that's exactly why she will. Because the man who can walk away and build himself without looking back is the man who becomes unforgettable. You're not using silence as a trick to get her back. You're using it to get yourself back, to take back your focus, your energy, and your time, so you can put it where it actually matters on yourself. Let her feel your absence while you build a life that makes you unstoppable, because when you come back around, you won't be the same man she rejected. You'll be the man she underestimated, and whether she regrets it or not won't matter, because by then you will have become too focused on your own greatness to care. Asterisk. One day, you will cross paths with her again. Maybe it will be at a party, a gathering with mutual friends, or by chance at a coffee shop. She will see you, and for a moment, she will scan you to see if you're the same guy she rejected. Most guys in this moment act either cold and bitter, trying to prove they don't care, or they act overly friendly, trying to seek a second chance. Both reactions are weak. Both come from a place of needing her to notice your worth, and both prove that you are still stuck on her validation. But you will do it differently. When that moment comes, you will be calm, confident, and unfazed. You will smile with genuine ease, Hold eye contact without flinching and let your energy speak louder than any words could. You won't need to prove you have changed, because your presence will already show it. You will look different because you have been putting in the work. Your body will reflect the hours you spent in the gym when you chose discipline over distractions. Your mind will be sharper. Your conversation will flow with confidence because you've been reading, learning, and expanding yourself. Your energy will be calm because you've stopped seeking validation from anyone, including her, and have built it internally through daily habits that align with your goals. You'll laugh genuinely, speak lightly, and move with purpose because you no longer fear rejection. You have faced it, learned from it, and grown beyond it. She will notice, trust me, and there will be a flicker in her eyes when she realizes that the man standing in front of her is not the same man she turned down. But the real win is that by the time this happens, you won't care whether she regrets it or not. You will be so deeply focused on your purpose, your mission, and your happiness that her validation will have no weight in your world anymore. You will have become a man who lives for his own approval, who values himself so deeply that external opinions can no longer shake him. This is true confidence, not the fake confidence of trying to get her attention again, but the kind that comes from building a life that makes you genuinely proud. Rejection becomes nothing more than a filter that removes people who are not ready for your level. It becomes a blessing because it gave you the push to transform, to level up, and to step fully into your power. When you reach this place, you will realize that rejection is not something to fear or avoid, but something to embrace as a necessary part of your journey. It shows you what needs to be fixed, it removes what isn't meant for you, and it forces you to build a life so solid that no one's absence can break it. And when you look back, you'll see that rejection was never the end of your story. It was the chapter where you decided to stop living for others and start living for yourself. That is the moment you become unshakable,